This is episode 56 of the Inland Empire Workers' Compensation Lawyer Livestream podcast, and today we're discussing how to get your medical treatment approved. So if you've been injured at work and you're hoping to get care, it's very difficult to get in California, you're interested in all this paperwork that you're getting and how all that process works, that's what we're discussing today.
Yeah, episode 56, and we're just getting started, but I think this is a really good one, Alex, because I have clients recently, and they want to know, listen, my doctor is saying that I need this or I need that, and the insurance company is not letting me have that. But my doctor's saying I should have it, so what's the deal? So when your doctor recommends some type of treatment or even a DME, a durable medical equipment, something for your claim, you don't automatically get it, do you, Alex? I mean, what is the process from the doctor requesting it to you actually receiving it? Is it medically necessary? Right? Is it something that a reasonable doctor would prescribe, that would recommend for you? Is this treatment something that's going to help you in your claim? Obviously, if you hurt your right wrist and they recommend a wheelchair, that might not get approved, right?
Yeah, it's the utilization review process. The insurance company screens all this stuff to make sure that it's medically necessary. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Right. So another word is utilization review. So what happens is your doctor says, my patient needs this in order to get better, in order to proceed with their treatment. But what needs to happen is that your doctor needs to fill out a request for authorization and send it to the insurance company. Now, does that always get to the insurance company? Once your doctor tells you, hey, you need this, I'm going to fill out an RFA, request for authorization, and you should get it. Is that the end of it, Alex?
Yeah, this is the first part of your problem. If you're not getting your medical treatment approved, or if you are hoping to get it approved, is a lot of times a doctor doesn't send it to the insurance carrier for the utilization review, for this filter that the insurance company is using to decide what to approve and what not to approve. And of course, if that doesn't happen, that's a big problem. That's a big problem that a lot of people encounter. So the first tip that we have for the video is, hey, you need to be aware that just because your doctor says that they've sent something to the insurance carrier doesn't mean that they have, or that they prove that they can.
Right.
Because remember, adjusters are lazy. Not all adjusters, but adjusters in general have an infinite amount of work that they could do.
Yeah.
Okay. There's so much work that an adjuster has to do. It's not an easy job. So I'm not saying they're lazy in the sense that they're not hardworking people. I think that they are, but I think that they are inundated with so much work, and you could work yourself to death as an adjuster. So the adjuster might just forget to see something because they're busy and they have personal life and stuff falls through the cracks. Well, you need to be able to prove that if that's happening to you, you will need some proof that the doctor actually sent this RFA to the insurance company.
Yeah, and you make a good point, Alex. I mean, adjusters are only people. They don't have your best interest in mind usually because they want to save money, but that's not to say that they don't actually work hard. I'm sure they're working very hard for the insurance company, which is why you need to hire us, because we need to work hard on your side. But that being said, there is a process for when the doctor does send that request for authorization, that RFA. So the first step is to actually have the doctor send that request for authorization. The second step is the insurance company is going to receive that. The adjuster is going to receive that request for authorization. From there, they're going to send it to the utilization review process, which is called UR, utilization review. There, it's going to be a doctor that's going to go through the request, and the doctor is going to provide his or her rationalization on whether that request for authorization should be approved, denied, or modified. Okay, and that's when they would issue that decision after that's done. So that's pretty much the process. Let's say you hurt your back, you go to your primary treating physician, and he says, I'm going to send a request for some physical therapy, maybe 4 weeks of 3 sessions a week.
Right.
That will go to the adjuster. The adjuster will receive it. She or he will send it to utilization review. The doctor will get that. That's going to be reviewing that and give his opinion, his or her opinion on whether they should deny, modify, or approve it. But maybe the doctor looks at everything and says, they don't really need 4 weeks of 3 times a week. The doctor might say, in my opinion, and because of these reasons, they have to outline that, this person might need 2 weeks of 2 times a week. So that's an instance where it wasn't denied, but it wasn't approved. It was modified. And that was just a little example to hopefully make you understand of how that works. Again, if you have questions, we are here. We're here to help. So please reach out to us. But that's usually how it works. Right, Alex?
The insurance company's doctor often modifies those requests to different amounts of physical therapy because they think, in their opinion, according to the guide, you as an injured worker are in need of those things, not the person who's actually treating you, not the doctor who's actually looking at you saying, this is how much I think you need. This is like a doctor who's never seen you. You don't know who they are. They're also documenting things like George said, and they're also calling your doctor to try to get them on the phone to talk about your care. And a lot of times in those utilization reviews, you'll see, oh, just couldn't get a hold of the doctor, get a hold of the doctor. And it's also another question of, sometimes a doctor says to you, they've sent in the request for authorization and they never did. So it's your job to track it down, make sure it gets to the adjuster. Okay. Same thing with calling the doctors. We don't know if in the utilization review that guy actually, or the person who's doing the review of your medical records that you never know actually called your doctor. Maybe they just called at lunchtime. And they didn't really make any really strong efforts to connect with your doctor. Maybe your doctor was busy, couldn't talk to him, and now all of a sudden your stuff's modified. And there's not a lot that can be done about that. You can request something.
You can, but you can request something, you can appeal it, and we'll talk about that. What I wanted to also talk about is how long they have to deny, modify, or authorize your treatment.
Right.
The utilization review process should take no more than 5 days from when they get it. Okay. They have 5 days to review and make their determination. So if it's taken more than that, then hey, great news. It's presumed, just like we talked about before in other videos, the presumption of the 90 days, if they don't get back to you and deny your claim or accept your claim, it's presumed accepted. Here as well, if they don't give you a decision within 5 days, it should be accepted. Now, they could try to fight that, and there could be some issues with that, but
there's a presumption.
There's a presumption, right?
And it goes towards you. So if they, it's like the wheelchair example. If you're ordered a wheelchair on an arm and the wheelchair is just not really appropriate, just because it's late doesn't mean that the denial's wrong.
Right.
But there's a presumption that you can. And I think the biggest thing is that the judge, the workers' compensation judge, makes the decision on that presumption, which is one of the only areas where judges in California have any say or discussion in this utilization review process that we're discussing.
Great point, Alex. Yes. And here I also want to point out that they have 5 days to give you their determination, but those 5 days could very easily be extended. And I think usually it is if the doctor is saying, well, I need more information. Okay. So the doctor that's looking over the request says, I need to speak to the primary treating physician. I need to ask some questions. I need more information.
Right.
Now it's extended to 14 days.
Right.
Okay. So just because it's been 7 days, you can't just say, oh, well, now I can get my treatment.
Right.
You have to look whether or not the doctor requested more information, and then that would extend it to 14 days.
That's a long time to wait. This is a complaint that we have. If you're out there, you're injured, you're watching this video, you're trying to gain information about the workers' comp system. In general, we have this issue where things take a long time. These processes are long, like waiting 2 weeks to get a medication approved, waiting 2 weeks to get some crutches or something. And you see these types of inequities in the system, these things that happen that just don't seem right and fair because of the way the system's set up. But there's a long period of time that they have to look at it. So a lot of this stuff's like, hey, it's been a month. It's been 2 months. Like it's been some grossly negligent amount of time though. That's a situation where if you can prove that the insurance adjuster received it, not only you get the presumption, because it's like let's say it's an epidural. They love to deny epidurals and things on backs because the back it's easy to deny stuff on. It's just, it gets injured and it's hard to say what you need, what you don't need. They often just say, oh, not needed, not needed, not needed, not needed. But if you got one that's like 2 months old, presumed.
Yeah. And now I do want to point out, Alex, that if you do get it authorized, there is a date, an expiration date for you to receive your treatment or whatever that is.
Right.
So it's very
You see
important
that in the paperwork.
and it's very important that you are very mindful of this date, because if you don't get it done by that date, then it's done. You got to go through the whole process again. Now, the problem with that is that the next time it might be denied for whatever reason. Maybe circumstances have changed, or maybe it got approved the first time and now they're looking at different stuff and it gets denied. So you don't want to miss that window of that treatment. Make sure you understand when that date is that you have to get it done by. Now, sometimes it's the job of the insurance company through their adjuster to schedule these appointments or schedule this treatment, and they might just not do it. Your attorney has to be aware of this. If it's a good attorney, has to be on top of this to make sure that you get that treatment done by that specific date.
Right, because if the treatment requires another specialist or another doctor, that's another treating physician, potentially a secondary treating physician or a specialist that you're going to see. Those things have to be arranged with third parties, with other doctors, and there's a network of doctors that you have to choose from. And this all goes back to medical provider network issues, which we have a video to that, and I'm going to put up a link up here. I'm also going to include that in the description below and discuss that a little bit.
Right.
You're going to see that on your utilization review if you're on this video, because you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on with my utilization review? And you're seeing that there. You're seeing the time frames that George is talking about.
Yes, sir. So let's talk about what happens when it's just denied. It's come back timely. You got a timely denial,
right?
Within the 5 days or within the 14 days because they requested more information, but it's just denied. Does it end there, Alex? Is that all you can be done? Because let's point this out, and we haven't talked about this yet. Once a determination is made, it's good for what? A year. Your doctor can't keep on requesting the same thing. A utilization review, UR determination
Right.
is good for a year. Now, I will say that your doctor can request the same thing if he can prove that circumstances have changed, that now
Right.
the situation's different. And that's why he's submitting a new RFA for the same treatment, for the same equipment, whatever the case is. If it's denied, your next step is going to be something called independent medical review. And hopefully you have a great attorney, and hopefully you're one of our clients, and we'll take care of this
Right.
for you. Once the denial comes in, our office will look at that and immediately request an independent medical review. So we started with a utilization review. It was denied. Now we move to independent medical review. What is that, Alex?
When you get the utilization review denial paperwork back, you're going to look in your file of paper and you're going to see that there's something called an independent medical review request form. There's a place it's sent to.
You're right.
And at that place, they look at it. The doctor, some doctor that you've never met, that you don't know, makes a decision as to whether or not the utilization review followed the proper procedures, and based upon what they're looking at, whether or not they're correct. So it's some type of independent person you never meet. You don't know who they are. That's the process that you're ending up going through, and it's a 90-day process, I believe.
Yeah. This is, I understand. This is all very, very confusing. Let's go through this process really quickly. I'm going to go through the process from the beginning. Your doctor is recommending certain treatment. He fills out a request for authorization, sends it into the adjuster. The adjuster receives it and sends that request for authorization to UR. UR has 5 days to approve, deny, or modify your request. Let's say they approve it, great. You have a certain amount of time to obtain your medical treatment or get your equipment. Make sure you're mindful of that. Let's say they deny or modify it. You will receive a appeal application with your modification or denial. Now, it's very important to understand that you have 30 days. So that's actually a lot of time. 30 days to request an independent medical review. Once you request an independent medical review through your attorney, or do it yourself if you don't have one, then that goes to another doctor who's going to be able to review the request for authorization, your medical records, the UR denial or modification, and they're going to make their own determination on all of that. Did I miss anything, Alex?
No, I think that's a really good synopsis of what occurs. That's what should occur. So it requires a lot of footwork. And if you're an injured worker out there, just be prepared to ask that doctor for proof that they sent the fax. And then when you get the form with the independent medical review paperwork, you get that to who needs to get it so that they file the appeal for you. Now, the whole time you're going to be considering, well, why am I waiting 90 days for something that I need right now? This is wasting my entire life. And a lot of injured workers feel that way.
Right.
So the tips and things that we put in here that are going to help you get your medical treatment paid, you also have to understand that if you're going through these long denials, maybe it's time to consult with a lawyer and get some legal advice onto how to pursue your claim into the future. So to do that, you dial 844-984-8414. That's our injury helpline. Attorney George Boato and I give free consultations. So the information you're seeing here is just general in nature only. It's not legal advice. You need to talk to a lawyer to know what to do next. George, you have anything else to add that listeners, viewers should know about the whole process in general? Any last pearls of wisdom or things that you think our viewers should understand before they watch the next video?
Yeah, I think nothing specifically, but I do want our viewers to understand that we make these videos for you. You need to be proactive in your own treatment and in your own claim. You need to help your attorney to help you, right? So please be mindful of the process. Understand it. That's great for you. Make sure that you understand the dates and the timeline. Make sure you understand why things are taking so long and how long they could take, because I understand that this process is frustrating. And that's why we're here to help alleviate some of that frustration, some of that stress. So we take a lot of this load off your hands. That way you can concentrate on getting better. So please, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help. We've helped thousands of clients, and we love helping people. So please call us. Once again, the injury hotline number is, Alex?
Yeah, so dial the injury helpline. It's 844-984-8414. And if you've reached this point, it means you're an injured worker. You need to watch the video that pops up on your screen, because that's the video that YouTube thinks you should watch next.